Coco. Sorry. Hi, Chloe.
Hi. Welcome to our podcast.
Yes, episode 0, is it?
El Zelcho.
El Zelcho.
I'm sorry if that's not any language.
I am unsure, but I will accept it because it sounds fun. And it's fun to say.
And this isn't a language podcast. This is a ethical lifestyle podcast.
Sustainability podcast.
Generally, us hobbling through life, attempting to be a bit better.
That is, I think, spot on. I think that is what we are.
That's it. That's going to be on the cover.
Mm-hmm. And what might this lovely shenanigan be called?
Green Girls.
Love it.
Da-da-da-da.
Beautiful.
Inspired by Mean Girls, in case anyone is wondering. That's it. But better, obviously.
And it's double G.
I feel like we need to make memes based on Mean Girls.
Oh, 100%.
And like every single episode should be like, what's it called? A different quote, but made ethical somehow.
Yes.
I don't know how
I will leave that task up to you.
Oh, good. But my humor's all like dad jokes.
That's fine. I am 100% all for dad jokes, which may be a problem because I feel like we are too similar that we may polarize the audience.
That might be the case. It's odd actually how similar we are in things that aren't to do with green, which I think is why I like you.
Yes. I think that's good. Good point. I mean, I like you too sometimes.
Aww.
All the time.
Girl.
I'm kidding.
But in the nicest way as well, you also remind me of my mum because you make things and she does not ever stop making things.
Making things is fun.
At Christmas, she got us a needle felting kit. Each of us got a needle felting kit.
Stop it.
My dad got so angry. He just kept poking himself with a needle.
No.
I've never heard him get so angry.
You know what? It's a real thing, though. I actually have scars on my fingertips from needle stabs.
Well, you must get so into your craft, right?
Yes, definitely. I actually thoroughly enjoy hand sewing, which is weird.
Well, me too, but that's because I'm afraid of the sewing machine.
No, sewing machines are your friend.
I don't know.
You just gotta practice.
I've seen them go through people's nails and they're not friendly.
I have sewn through my finger, but that's because my machine is scary. It's not a little domestic and it doesn't have a finger guard. And I was sewing something white, which is funny.
Oh, no.
And I like went through my finger and stopped the machine and kind of stared at it for a moment and was like, did that just happen? Meanwhile, my hand is in the machine with the needle in my finger. And then I had to manually hand wheel the needle out of my finger. Luckily, though, it only caught the side. And there wasn't really, there's like the tiniest amount of blood. But I was just like, this just happened.
Did it get on the dress? What, on the white fabric?
No, it didn't. I know. And it was white crochet. I was adding some lining to like a top so that I could wear it to a family thing without being like risque. And stabbed myself with the sewing machine.
Oh no. Well, see, that just backs me up. The sewing machine is evil.
Yeah, I kind of backfired that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Sewing machines are great fun. By the way, I stabbed myself. Oops.
Well, that's one point to me never using a sewing machine again. I get it. It's faster, but you could die. Slowly.
No.
But
no. Just maybe not my machine.
Right. Yeah.
I'll let you borrow my little domestic Janome and you'll love it.
We do have a sewing machine. I will just never learn because I'm scared.
No. Let me teach you. I will teach you.
Will you?
Absolutely.
All right. You'll come round one day.
100%.
And teach me how to fix all the things that have been literally sat in a bag for years that I've gone, I could fix that.
Yeah, I can. I can show you how to fix it.
Yay.
Okie dokie, let's get back on track.
Maybe.
I mean,
who knows?
We are talking about ourselves, which is sort of what this first podcast episode 0 is about. A little bit of an introduction into us.
That's true.
And what we're doing here. So
this isn't a
kind
proper
of
episode. It's just kind of us having a chin wag, finding out what we're about. Hopefully giving a bit of a background information before we launch into it and forget that people don't know exactly what goes on in our heads.
Yes, I'm sure they won't know what goes on in our heads anyway.
Okay, so let's get into the green side of things.
Yes.
And I'm going to talk about when I first met you and somehow demanded you be my friend.
This is like the best story that I've ever made a friend.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. All my other
Aw.
friend stories are boring. No offense, other friends. This one's just special.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you tell the story.
Well, on a bright, sunny Melbourne day, we were at a vegan, like a vegan fair. So everything there was
Spring Vegan Festival, I believe it was.
the Spring Vegan Festival.
Mm.
I don't know how many years ago it was now, but it was one of the first that I went to with Tarek, and I decided that I would give like people with like cool shops mini little interviews, and I'd pop it on YouTube or Instagram or something. I can't even remember if I published it. And I came up to you and you had all of these awesome outfits that you'd made yourself. And I don't think there was much fashion there either. So great for you.
No.
You probably got all
Yes.
fashion people.
It was me and Velvety was behind me.
Oh, Lorena. She's great too.
I know. Yeah. But I remember you coming up to me like real awkwardly and Tarek just being like, just go, do it.
Yeah,
and
that
you were like,
sounds right.
I don't want to interview people. And then we were just like having a grand old chit chat. And I was like, hi. And then, we became friends.
We became buds. Your retail work, that was never in ethical fashion, was it?
Absolutely no. Lots of sort of fast fashion and not very sustainable. Yeah.
When you worked in retail, was that ever while you were making your own clothes?
Yes.
Yeah?
It was. Yes. There was quite a few years actually. I remember even one of my jobs on my lunch break, I would bring in like the accessories and stuff that I was making, the materials, and make them on my lunch break.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I was very committed.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, you know, it wasn't really a job that I was super invested in, but it was enough for me to make money to do my thing on the side. So I think that's why I did it for so long.
Yeah. Did it ever cross your mind during that time that like you were spending hours making stuff and then the stuff you were selling was cheap?
No, but I feel like it should have, especially when you get staff discount. Look, okay,
Oh, yeah,
mind
true.
you, I am very different to the person I was when I was in retail. I
Yeah.
used to, this prime example of this, on my lunch breaks or before work or after work, I used to walk around the shopping centre and try and find the best deals. And there was this one store that was the $10 store. Every single thing in there was $10. And the ladies knew me. Like, and I would go in there and buy 10 items. And I still actually have a few things now, but when I think back to it, I'm like, I really hope it was just like, I mean, I don't. I know it was like probably overstock or, you know, this poor person getting paid not much. But at that time, it didn't cross my brain like that.
Yeah.
So I can sympathize with people now who are in that same sort of mindset. But I think it was when I actually started making stuff for myself and pricing things and having responses of people being like, oh, geez, that's so expensive, that I actually put a value to, you know, someone making an item.
Yeah. A value to the time.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, like a lot of things that I made, you know, overseas, they're also transported here. So you've got all that transport cost, marketing cost, everything built in, and they're selling an item for $10. And I was like,
Yeah. How does anyone make any money from it?
Yeah.
But
So I
they
used
do.
to have no savings because I would just buy. I was so materialistic. I bought so much stuff, like consumer crazy. And now I'm very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
How
different.
many pairs of shoes have you bought this year?
I think I've bought a pair of like exercise sneakers.
That's it?
I have bought a lot of clothes, but from the op shops, and that's for a little
that's
something
smart.
something that is happening in my future, hopefully. And also, I just can't resist. Secondhand is best.
Yeah. Second hand is always going to be better if you can do it.
What about you? What's your sort of background like?
Yeah, I don't think I gave it a second thought either. I think my beginning was with makeup, even though I'm not big on makeup at all. I went to one of those workshops, a real workshop, before all the Zoom workshops, by the way. I guess it was like 5-6 years ago. And someone was going through makeup and saying which brands were and weren't cruelty-free. And I remember hating MAC because I knew that they tested on animals.
Yeah.
But I did not know that any of the other regular drugstore brands also tested on animals. And I went through my makeup bag with her and she was like, yep. Like these all tested on animals. I was like, oh my God.
I know.
And from that day, I was like, wow, there's so much hidden bad stuff in stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy to think about. And I think I agree with you in terms of one of my first sort of realization moments was makeup.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was at that point where, I just did a pop. Sorry. It was at that point where things weren't necessarily labeled. Like they weren't labeled as cruelty-free, non-animal testing, vegan, whatever. It was just kind of like do your own research. And you know, like I found a brand that I liked that I stuck to. And I remember like my siblings and my friends and stuff being like, oh, why do you like that brand? Like this one's so much better. And I was like, well, this is why your brand sucks.
Yeah, they test on animals.
Yeah.
So I guess my journey, if you will, started with makeup and realizing that there was.
Sorry, I just realized you said journey. I was like, journey. Is that like some fancy word I don't know?
Oui, bonjour.
I will let you continue on your journey story.
My journey. On my journey. Mate. On my journey. Okay. My journey began with ethical makeup or like cruelty-free makeup. And from there, I also tried to transition to like vegan makeup after that because I really didn't think too much about the vegan side at that point. I was just like, I do not want this tested on dogs or rats or mice or monkeys or anything else that they might test it on. So that was like my first value, I suppose. I was really set on like, no, if it's going to be tested on an animal, then it's not going on my skin. It's not worth it.
Yep.
And then scrolling through Facebook one day, I saw someone talking about fashion. I can't remember if it was a group or whatever, but someone said they should really watch The True Cost. And honest to God, I was so worried that after watching it, like I knew that my life would be changed. I knew that I would think about things a different way. I knew that I would know too much. And so
you can't go back.
That night before watching it, I think I placed my last order ever with Nike. Because I thought I don't want to find out something awful and not be able to afford ethical sportswear, and I really need this stuff.
Yep.
So that was that, and like a year later or something, I bought a top on sale in Zara, and I think they were my last ever fast fashion purchases.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I was right. The True Cost changed stuff.
Yes, changed your life.
Changed my life.
It's funny that, like you say, makeup and clothing and fast fashion was your sort of turning point.
Yeah.
Because I actually started off with like food and the vegan diet. Like I never really ate meat through high school. Like I ate chicken. I got braces in year 8, and I remember vividly the orthodontist saying to me, now you can't eat any meat off the bone. And I came home to my parents and said, I can't eat any meat. and
Do they know that?
Yeah, they know that. Which, like, I think they knew in the first place anyway. Because, like, what kid comes home from the dentist and they're like, you've got braces now, you can't eat meat.
That's right.
But anyway, I still ate, like, fantails and stuff that messed up my teeth. But that's a story for another time.
But no meat. Sweets are fine.
Yeah, exactly. Sweets are totally fine. So, yeah, I sort of started off on that front. And I feel like I've always been very aware of animals, and like I never really liked zoos and things like that. But when I first watched, I think it was Earthlings, I remember crying myself to sleep.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's a doozy. I would definitely recommend watching it, but it's not for the faint of hearted. And I actually did have to stop it.
So be ready.
Finish it. Be absolutely ready.
Yeah.
I was in tears, and then it sort of was just like a switch just flicked, and nobody at that time in my, friendship space or family relationships were on the same level as me. And I was trying to be like, when your just mind is blown and you need to share it with everybody, and then nobody wants to know, because exactly like you, they're like, I don't want to ruin, I don't want to change my life. Once I know that's it, I know.
Yeah.
So and I was kind of in my own little sad bubble for a while.
With no one there. So did you watch it on your own then? No one else had watched it?
No, I watched it on my own. Yeah.
How did you come across it?
I honestly don't remember, but I remember watching it and crying in bed by myself, like in the dark with just the little glow of my laptop screen, just being unbelievably emotional. And I'm pretty sure I was like sharing it on Facebook and trying to get friends to watch it, and they were just like, nah. And it was a lot.
Yeah. The sad truth is like it's really inconvenient to care.
Absolutely.
Like,
That's the thing.
That sounds really blunt and like gives people a bit of a shitty outlook. But it becomes really inconvenient if you want to have strong values and live that way. Like we pretty much every Monday, sorry to make this about me again, but
no, you go for it.
We go to the Meatless Mondays thing at Grilled so that you can get 2-for-1 burgers that are on the vegan menu. But last week, even though it was March, they were having their Christmas party. And yeah, I don't know.
Are we in an alternate reality at the moment?
March is in Christmas now.
Yeah. Well, it's no longer Christmas in July. It's Christmas in March.
That's right. I don't know how it ended up. Oh, I assume because there was a lockdown in Christmas or something.
I don't know. It's all a blur.
Stuff happened around
life.
Christmas time. But like it wasn't until then that we realized our little area of shops had like nothing else vegan. Like there was Grilled, and I'm pretty sure there's a Schnitz, and Schnitz does do some vegan stuff. There was somewhere else that had like a option, but a lot of the places were like ramen and stuff that was in broths, and like all of the broths were pork. And so like anything there, even the vegetable stuff wasn't vegetarian. There was still a broth.
Yeah. Yep.
And like there was a sushi place, and like nothing there was going to be vegan. We ended up going to, I think, a Greek place, and the chap at the door was such a gem. Like he managed to basically cobble stuff together to make it vegan for us.
I love it when they do that.
It was really good.
If they have vegetables, like it should not be that hard.
Yeah, and it's just really, really weird that doing the kind thing is really hard.
And it's so frowned upon. Like you get judged so hard. Less these days, but I remember when I first was like, you know, in my sad little bubble.
Yeah.
It was always like all those stupid jokes like, but bacon, and like always at the vegan vegetarians expense. And yes, it's still sort of around now, but I feel like it's a bit more accepted. There's more options available at like chain stores and things, but it's really hard. I don't understand how you get judged for trying to make a choice that is ethical or morally better,
that will do less harm to the world.
That's right. Yeah. So like you're getting judged for trying to do less harm, which just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's been made really normal to just do what's very easy.
It is tough. I think just as long as we have goals and we try our best, and, you know, sometimes things may not go according to plan, but any step is a good step, I think.
Yeah. Well, last year when we tried to record this podcast, we had green goals.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No? Do you have goals now? Because honestly, I'd have to think of one.
Yeah, I still have my original goal of learning how to garden or grow vegetables, like be sustainable in my own space. Like I have quite a lot of land at my disposal, a lot more than, you know, a lot of my friends. Like I've got a huge front yard, a huge backyard, but I haven't put the work in. And I think it overwhelms me that there's like, I'm trying to be perfect and I'm trying to do it right. When really I just need to grab some seeds and stick it in the ground. And if it works, it works. That's great. Yeah, true. So yeah, I think one of my current goals is to learn to be more sustainable off the land and the things that I already have. So
that's good. And you can apply that everywhere, because I know you've got like a cupboard full of materials over there to play with.
Yes, I know, I do. I have plenty of things in my house that I could use, like, you know, without buying new, and I think repurposing, and that is the way to go.
I've made a silent promise to myself to not buy any more skincare or hair care, body products, anything like that. I haven't made that deal with myself about makeup because I'm slowly converting everything I have to, what's it called? I think it's called Eye of Horus, because I just really love it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all like organic and I think mostly vegan. It's all cruelty free, made in Australia. Really like it. Yeah. They've got like the best mascara. But anything skincare, unless it's the Jojoba Co, because I love it.
Jojoba.
Yeah, that's right. Jojoba. The Jojoba Co. I love their stuff, and like they'll send me what's new. So like, I'm just not going to turn it down, honestly.
Get me on that list, please.
It's a really good list to be on. And their stuff works with my skin really well. Yeah, so apart from that, Like, I'm going to work through every shampoo I have, every conditioner bar I have, anything like that.
That's another really good point, though. Sorry, I just tapped my mic. Is, you know, if you just suddenly wake up one day and you're like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm no longer going to buy, you know, nasty stuff, and I'm going to try and make an effort to be more sustainable, blah, blah, blah. Use what you already have. Like, don't, if you throw it out, that's just as wasteful. Like, you scrape that bloody moisturizer tube clean. Like, you've already purchased it. You may as well use it. You know, next time you purchase something else, you'll make more of an informed decision. But like, I still have shoes and stuff from, you know, when I didn't think about this stuff that were leather, that I'm like, well, I've already got them. Like, I'm not going to get rid of them now. And makeup, skincare, and all that stuff. Like, use what you've got before you buy anything new. Yeah, that's the most sustainable thing.
Well, there was, do you know the brand NARS? Probably do.
Yes.
My like best friend in the UK bought me a gorgeous lipstick from NARS when they were cruelty free, and since then they started selling in China and were not cruelty free anymore. Rage. And it made me think, God, like I don't want to wear that lipstick anymore, even though it was cruelty free.
Yes.
And so I still will
understand.
It just makes me want to not advertise that it was NARS, because now I don't want to actually support them.
You don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah.
There's a really fun thing, though, that Tarek does that I now do because I also live here. Instead of keeping buying stuff like food, we'll get to a point where it's like, okay, we're not buying anything else. We're going to work through this cupboard and this fridge until there's almost nothing left. And
I love that.
We have really weird meals for a while. Yeah. But otherwise, we just don't empty the cupboards. There are all this weird stuff, especially me, totally my bad. Why did I buy jackfruit? I do not know what to do with jackfruit.
I've tried it too. It's too hard.
I'm not inventive
I've had a few jackfruit disasters as well, so I'm kind of like...
I've got, I think, 2 different varieties of jackfruit sitting in the cupboard like, hello.
Yeah,
and I know that the next time we do one of these clear outs, I'm going to have to do something about them.
That's good, but there's something so satisfying about that. And I've done the same thing too. Like, I feel so good when I get to the bottom of like a toothpaste or like, my favorite makeup product. Like, just getting the little dregs out. Like, I will stick like a makeup brush in the bottom of my foundation to get that last little bit, and you feel so accomplished and so satisfied. And it's the same with food. Like, when I see the fridge empty, I'm like, oh, sad, you know, giving me food. But then you end up with some weird ass meal that actually is like pretty good.
Yeah. It's really fun.
I love that.
But with skincare, I'm actually really weird. Like, the minute I like something, I don't want to use it because I don't want it to run out.
I actually think I have a few products like that, like some ones that were very expensive. And I'm like, I obviously bought this for a reason, like just use it. But I'm like, oh, but I can't wear it on every day. Like, I'm going to be in a roof. There's no point in putting makeup on my face.
Well, true, you are in a roof. But if you want to wear it, you go for it.
Sometimes I need to hide my face because I'm like one of those people that just gets red all the time. Like, I walk up the stairs, tomato.
Oh my God.
I do something embarrassing, tomato. Like, I can't help it. Just whoosh, flush.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I need to test this out in public now.
Please don't. Actually, you won't, because most of the time I'll have something on my face. So you won't know. Just don't embarrass me now, because I have no face on.
You have no face on?
No. I have no face on. I'm sitting in my dressing gown doing this lovely recording with you.
Oh, yeah. I would not have known you were in a dressing gown.
It's lush. It's like black, fluffy. It's very nice.
I like it. I'm in the coziest grey outfit.
Yes, I know it well. It is very luxurious also.
Yes. Well, actually, the jumper that I'm wearing over it has a built-in scarf.
Yes, I knew it.
It's the one that I got from Savers for like $6, and I think it's the best thing.
I love it.
Like, it's tied for favorite with the top, which cost me so much more.
I know.
But, you know, one was sustainable fashion because it was op shop. One was sustainable fashion because it was made well in Australia and someone made money from it.
It's all about balance.
That's it.
It's a good balance.
Yeah. And if I didn't shop at Savers, then I could not afford the other sustainable fashion stuff.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've sort of covered our journeys, hopefully, enough. I mean, I'm sure this is probably rambling, but I think it's a start.
I've got one additional question for you.
Yes.
So, actually, okay, 2. How long now have you been vegan?
I'm glad you asked me this because I actually just went on my Instagram and scrolled as far back as I could remember to a particular food post.
Oh, yeah.
And I have been vegan for 8 years.
Happy 8 years. Well
I know.
done.
Thank you. It doesn't feel like that. Like, it's just crazy. It's just, it's normal for me.
Yeah. I think what you just kind of clicked. It made sense for you.
Yeah,
So it's
it did.
well, this is just life now.
Yep, exactly right.
This is my big question. And I'm sorry if it offends anyone. But did you go through a militant vegan phase?
I don't think I did. I think there was definitely a period of time where I felt like I was in my own, like my own little bubble, and I was frustrated at everyone, and I was sort of angry, but I didn't outwardly show it. Like, I was just like, why is nobody else seeing this? Like, it's right here. I don't understand, how is it clicked for me and it's not clicked for someone else? But after these years, I've kind of realized that there was once a point in my life when I didn't know any better and I didn't realize that this was an alternative.
Yeah.
And, I remember being like, oh, I could never go vegan. Like, I like chocolate so much. Like, I still like chocolate and I still eat chocolate. There's
Chocolate's
just
still great.
Yeah, 100%. So I do still have struggles sometimes, but I think the best way to address it is to be approachable and to not outwardly, I guess, antagonize people, because they will jump at the bait. They will be like, oh, you're vegan. Well, you must eat just like leaves. And
don't you?
I really eat salad.
Oh, yeah. Vegan does not mean healthy at all.
Not at all. No, not at all. But I've kind of
so many burgers this week.
Oh, I had burgers for dinner tonight. They were very good. But yeah, I think the best way to deal with it is to sort of just be approachable, and people will ask you questions. And I've got, my sister is now vegetarian. Jake's brother is vegan, and I like to sometimes give myself a little pat on the back, but I don't think it was me, but I'm going to claim it anyway.
So Vegan's brother did. Vegan's brother?
Well, technically, I guess I'm vegan. So no, wait. I'm very confused. That does not make sense.
Jake's brother.
Jake's brother.
Vegan.
He's vegan.
Where's Jake on the scale?
Not there. He eats a lot of stuff that I eat at home, because there's no point in making 2 meals. And I think he's quite happy to try things. But, if we're out and about and there's a choice of takeaway or something like that, he'll get whatever he wants. Yeah. And I'll get whatever I want. And as much as it pains me, I'm hopeful that one day, he'll sort of have that click moment as well. But I don't think forcing someone or, being aggressive is the way to do it.
Yeah.
So everyone will get there in their own.
I agree.
In their own time.
You didn't get there through aggression.
No, I got there through very, very emotional video. And I think I was a vegetarian for 2 months. And I think it was just after high school, because I was afraid of what people were going to say. And just after high school, I went vegetarian. And then I was like, I remember I was at my mum's house and I was like, I'm just going to go vegan. I'm just going to try it. And they were like, oh, don't you think that's a bit extreme? Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, not really, no. And there you go, 8 years later.
Yeah, here you are.
One thing I will say that I struggle with, and I actually said this to Jake, I don't think I'd vocalized it to him before. I really struggle going out for dinner with people who don't eat like me. Yeah. Because everyone's sitting there, everyone's having a joyful time, they're loving their meals, they're like, oh, this is so good. And all I can see is just it just makes me feel...
Makes you feel ill?
Gross. Yeah, I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, yum, that looks delicious, when secretly on the inside I'm like, wow, how do you not see? Yeah. So that's definitely something I'm still struggling with, and 8 years down, but again, I'm sticking by my peaceful approach, and hopefully people will converse with me and,
Yeah, I'm sure there are so many comments and things that you just have to kind of bounce off.
Yeah, so many times too, people are like, oh my God, I had the best meal the other day. It was lamb this with that and da-da-da. And I'm like, lamb?
Yeah, no. And I'm sure, because people that are vegan or eat plant-based, usually it's heaps of different things. I'm personally okay with the idea of death. Or killing an animal. I know that it's not necessary that we need to kill animals for food now, but I'm not adverse to it.
Yeah.
And so the idea of there being a dead animal isn't the issue to me. I could see someone eating it and not be offended that it's an animal. Whereas for you, I'm supposing that is one of the points.
Yes, definitely. Because I'm like, how do you not see, you know? But that's the thing, is that everyone's at different journeys. And like you just said, you know, that you actually recognize what it is that's on your plate. A lot of people don't want to associate it with that. They just go, this is my food. Like, this is not, you know, a dead something.
I more recognize the journey that the animal went on to get to the plate. So there was a book that I listened to because I never find the time to read.
A book that you listened to?
A book that I listened to.
What era are we in?
I know.
I love it.
It was called Eating Animals. It was another one of those things where I was like, this is probably going to change me. And oh my God, it did. Every chapter kind of went through a different animal and a different sort of stage of, I guess, the commercial way that we kill animals and get them to supermarkets and our plates. And it went through like chicken eggs, it went through chickens, pigs, cows, and every chapter was just more harrowing than the last. And I realized like this is what the normal system is, and I'm not okay with it. If I'm ever going to eat an animal, it's not going to be from this system. Yeah. Which is why I am now mainly vegan, like mainly plant-based. And I still don't know if I went to a restaurant that said, oh yeah, we kill things in a certain way. They had this life. They don't know death is coming. All of this sort of stuff. I still don't know that I'd believe them and therefore eat it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that like, and with marketing, like I was saying before, it's you can't trust anything. The regulations are just crazy. You know, perfect example I think is like free range eggs or cage free eggs. Like there's so many word plays to trick the consumer into thinking that they are doing something that, you know, aligns with them.
They'll just call it happy chooks or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, these chickens enjoy being in the cage.
Exactly. The happy cows on the milk containers and stuff. Like it's like, green, sunshine.
Green.
And you think, oh, this is a happy cow. I'm going to drink this milk.
Oh, there are so many topics I want to get into with you, like vegan being one, greenwashing being one.
Oh, definitely.
But this is probably a good space to stop because
I think so,
I will just
I think
jump
we're going to go forever. I know. I could just keep going. And I'm looking at it. It's almost at 60 minutes recording time. And I'm like,
well, that's good. Did I close Trello? God, I'm a
probably
noob.
Silly goofball.
Silly me.
Silly Billy.
I'm just getting onto it so I can say like any sort of intro and then and then leave.
So an intro at the end.
Yeah, well, look,
we
editing
know
magic.
What we're doing. We are so skilled.
This is episode El Zelcho,
aka Zero.
All about starting where we are, because this podcast is absolutely not polished. But if we don't start now, honestly, I don't think we ever will. And in that same vein, we're starting where we are on our ethical journeys. Now the listeners have heard a little bit about what our journey has been up until this point. And now we can all walk forward together.
I love.
How good's that?
That is very cute.
Love it. Is it fetch?
So fetch.
So fetch.
Or should I be on the other side and be like, stop trying to make fetch happen? No, I'm with it. It's fetch.
It's fetch. Fabulous. That's right. We're making fetch happen, people.
Yes, we are. Great girls.
All right. Well, let's call that a wrap on episode El Zilcho.
All right. Well, we shall see you next time in episode 1.
Oh, my goodness. We're so good at this.
Okay. I'm going to stop recording now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.